Hello all you fine beautiful people, I'm back here once again with another video, and today I'm going to do something completely different. I don't do this very often, but this one I just felt like I had to do this one. I slept on it, and I heard yesterday the passing of Marvin Lee, also known as Loaf. Uh, Great singer, fantastic singer. Um, and anyone who's been following my channel for a long time knows that the first band I got into was Pink Floyd. But the first memory of any type of music listening to was in my parents' car. And they didn't have much money. And there was one of two albums you could listen to. You could either listen to the Footloose soundtrack, which is good in its own right, had some good songs on there, or you could listen to Bat Out of Hell by Loaf. And I remember hearing this so much as a kid. And to think that, like, probably by the age of 4 or 5, I knew every word to that album. And the album cover on itself was just, you look at it, even on the little cassette, and you're like, even as like a young kid, you know that's a badass album cover. And it really was. Now, I've heard certain albums by Loaf. I've never really kept fully up with all his discography or anything. I think the only albums I've listened to is Bat Out of Hell, Bat Out of Hell 2, Hang Cool Teddy Bear, Bat Out of Hell 3, and you couldn't have said any better. That's the probably 5 I've listened to by him. And man, what an amazing singer. It was yesterday listening to the Bat Out of Hell album, I decided, you know what, let's look at the credits to this. Because I know Jim Steinman wrote and composed most of the stuff. Loaf sung on it. But man, you had guys like Todd Rundgren on there. You had Edgar Winter on there. Like, these are big names in music on this thing. Loaf used to always tell a story that, like, when they were shopping this album around to get a record deal, like, record labels would legitimately create false sort of record companies just to say no to them. And it's amazing going looking at it, like, then when it did get released, that it was this good, like, that it got virtually overnight turned Loaf into a household name. I remember hearing that as a kid. I remember when this album came out, the one in the background, Bat Out of Hell 2, where Bat Out of Hell 1 had a very, was it sort of that hard rock, heavy metal edge to it. That even though it was a very, I guess you could say, commercial album, on that album, that first note you got of them starting up that motorcycle, you knew you were on for a ride with this album. And it really hit. And then you get into Bat Out of Hell 2, where I call Bat Out of Hell 1 more of the, what I would say, teenage angst rebellion album. I call Bat Out of Hell 2 more the self-reflective album. But it kills just as much as the first record, into the points where you get stuff on it, like, sure, you get the sappy kind of love ballad, I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that, which I believe they released as a single, and I believe is actually one of the longest singles ever to be played on the radio, clocking over at 11 minutes. But also it's followed up by songs like Life is a Lemon and I Want My Money Back, which features just great lyrics from Loaf, like, it's all or nothing, and nothing's all I'll ever get. Every time I turn it on, I turn it off and turn it up, or something really good. But the whole idea of Life is a Lemon and I Want My Money Back, I want a refund on it. Really good stuff. Good girls go to heaven, but bad girls go everywhere. I think I wore that one out. Rock and Roll Dreams Come True. Just some really interesting songs. Then I remember hearing You Couldn't Said Any Better, the title track I really loved. Hang Cool Teddy Bear had some good songs on it. Like a Rose, which I believe is a cover. That was a song I quite liked. Los Losers, I believe is how it's pronounced. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember really liking that one quite a bit. But man, the guy had pipes. And really great singer. One that even as a kid I remember hearing and just always looking back on and saying, I remember being a young kid and comparing every singer I heard to Meatloaf. Because it's like this guy had just this presence of vocally where it's like you knew as soon as you heard it, this guy is good. And stuff like that. So yeah. And also one thing I'll say, album covers. Like, I know some of them throughout the 80s, like I was looking up yesterday, it's like, okay, they're hit and miss. Still haven't listened to very many other than the ones I've heard. But album cover wise, the Bat Out of Hell ones, I still think the one behind me is probably one of my favorite album covers. I remember my dad getting the cassette for this and looking at it and just staring at it. And he said to me one day, "What are you looking at?" And I just showed him, I'm looking at it. It's like I was so entranced by this album cover that is just so good. The demon on top of the Empire State Building and the character coming in on his motorcycle just like he's going to throw a fireball at him or something. Great, great stuff on here. That's one thing I'll say. Album covers always look fantastic, especially the original Bat Out of Hell. Really good stuff. But yeah, he left a legacy of, I know in later years I've never listened to very much of his stuff. Actually, I didn't even know it was out there. Maybe that's more my fault. I've kind of fell into other music I was listening to, but this is my first music really listening to. And when I heard he died, like my mom sent me a text saying she was heartbroken Meatloaf died. Because for her, like, that was a large part of her, I guess, adult years was like that hit. Like, that was played everywhere, that Bat Out of Hell record. Whether it be the title track, Bat Out of Hell, whether it be It Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad, For Crying Out Loud, All Revved Up with No Place to Go. Just a fantastic album. And then I remember listening to this one. This is one of the first records I ever bought, was Bat Out of Hell 2, with my own money. Because I'm like, this album, even the first time I remember hearing it, is like, oh Jesus, how old would I have been? I was quite young when I heard it, but I remember even the music being entranced by it, not just the album art, but the music itself. And it's like there was a personal thing to it where you could tell it's like kind of one of those albums that just grabbed you, especially for me. I know people who absolutely hate Meatloaf's music. I'm one of the people that actually really enjoy it. And I actually do kind of want to go back, look at some of his other catalog. Just great stuff. I know he's worked with Cher. He's worked with Steve Vai, who I think is a hell of a guitar player. Todd Rundgren, as I said, produced his first album. Edgar Winter, like, he's worked with the who's who in music. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this. I say rest in peace, Meatloaf. Like, it's just a fantastic singer, a legacy in music that has spawned decades. Like, just a really interesting guy. Anyway, that's my thoughts and opinions. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Peace.